What happens when injustice goes unreported? What happens when the voices of rural communities are never heard? And what becomes of democracy when journalists are silenced? These questions brought media practitioners, civil society groups, and development partners together in Abuja for a stakeholders meeting and launching of Make It Count initiative. CHRICED Radio and Television and its German partner WeltFilme, with financial support from the German Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development (BMZ), launched the Make It Count project. The initiative sought to strengthen human rights reporting and empower citizen journalists in Nigeria.
This project, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, is more than a program. It is a movement to strengthen independent media, a movement to amplify human rights reporting, a movement to ensure that the voices of ordinary Nigerians, women, youth, persons with disabilities, and marginalized communities truly count in shaping the future of our democracy. Through Make It Count project, we aim to nurture a new generation of citizen reporters, empower community-based storytellers, and support media platforms courageous enough to speak truth to power. We will invest in training, technology, and collaborative networks that enable journalists and civic actors to document abuses, expose corruption, and highlight stories of resilience and hope. But let me be clear, this project is not about CHRICED alone. It is about all of us, the ecosystem of actors who believe that democracy cannot thrive without a free press, that human rights cannot be protected without fearless reporting, and that development cannot be sustained without accountability.
This is coming at a time of growing concern over shrinking civic space and increasing attacks on journalists. The project was to train journalists in digital television reporting, peace journalism, camera work, editing, and social media communication.
The project brings together media professionals from independent media organizations, journalists, freelance media practitioners, and communication professionals in Nigeria and Germany to build practical skills, strengthen networks, and jointly develop innovative media content that addresses issues of public interest. The project is structured around 4 interconnected components. The first one is capacity building and professional development. Participants will receive practical training in TV journalism, peace journalism, camera work, sound editing, and social media communication. The trainings will combine technical skills with editorial competencies and digital storytelling approaches.
CHRICED Radio and TV, the host of the event, used the opportunity to highlight its unique focus and the impact the platform had made over the past year.
Divine voices of the voiceless, civic engagement, gender and social inclusion. You heard about it when Madam talked about our impact on at least getting everybody involved. In all our program content, make sure that we factor women, youth, factor people with disabilities, and others. Transparency and social justice is part of our focus, then democracy and good governance. What's our approach? Development journalism. It resonates with what CHRICED does, and being the media arm of the organization itself, so we just have to follow suit. Investigative human rights reporting, you've seen the traces from some of the stories that we've shared so far.
The Nigeria Union of Journalists chairperson in Abuja commended the Make It Count initiative, describing it as a timely intervention to strengthen rights-based reporting.
The NUJ Council is proud to stand in solidarity with every effort that advances human rights-focused journalism, protects independent media, and equips grassroots media actors with the tool they need to serve their communities with accuracy, fairness, and courage. We congratulate the CHRICED team on the launch of the Make It Count initiative, and we look forward to the conversations that are going to be happening henceforth that will shape a stronger and more resilient media future from Nigeria.
The keynote speaker on the theme, The Future of Independent Media and Human Rights Reporting in Nigeria, painted a troubling picture. He said press freedom in Nigeria was facing serious threats. The guest speaker cited reports showing more than 100 civic space violations in 1 year, with journalists accounting for more than half of those victims.
But despite its resilience, the media remains a bloody bastion. The Committee to Protect Journalists, CPJ, and the International Federation of Journalists, IFJ, reported that in last year, 2025, at least 128 journalists were killed worldwide. The United Nations reported that 950 human rights defenders, journalists, and trade unionists were killed or forcibly disappeared in 2025.
He also decried poor welfare conditions and unpaid salaries in the media industry. The Executive Secretary of the National Human Rights Commission, Anthony Ojukwu, described the meeting as timely. Represented by spokesperson of the Commission, Ojukwu expressed concern that many journalists facing abuses have failed to seek redress through its established channels.
Reports cases of human rights violation to the National Human Rights Commission. We don't have records as in today, so and so case has been reported by so and so journalists to the Commission. No. Is it because we are scared of our proprietors? But again, we are there to provide protection for you. We can investigate these matters, undercover. You can give us insight, you can be a whistleblower, and then you leave it to us.
Persons with disabilities demanded greater media inclusion and better coverage of issues affecting their communities.
In the course of doing your work also, there's a place of rights, and for persons with disabilities, we have a lot of barriers that hinders us when it comes to the issue of storytelling and reporting. One, a deaf person trying to report an issue to you as a journalist who does not understand sign language, communication has not taken place, and there is a barrier. And maybe you gesticulate around the paper trying to pick up something that is not factual, and you bring that to the fore, and the person with disability says, "This is not my story." How do you address that? And here on this table today, I think one of the things I would like us to look into is to clear up those barriers that hinder adequate and comprehensive storytelling and reporting of persons with disabilities.
Other participants also took turns to express their divergent views, calling for stronger partnerships to build an independent and people-centered media ecosystem. At the end of the deliberations, stakeholders reached a number of key resolutions. They called for editorial independence and resistance to external influence. They demanded better salaries and welfare for journalists. They urged media organizations to protect reporters through physical, digital, and legal safety measures. They called for inclusive storytelling, giving a voice to persons with disabilities and grassroots communities. And as artificial intelligence and disinformation reshape the media landscape, they stressed the need for fact-checking and training to combat fake and manipulated content. For the organizers, the message is simple. A stronger democracy begins with informed citizens, and every community deserves to have its story told. With Make It Count project, every story counts, every voice matters.